Good evening and welcome everyone to our Real Mom special. As we approach Mother's Day this Sunday, we are going to speak to some moms about some real struggles and memorable experiences throughout their journey of motherhood. Before I start this interview, here is a little something about the person I'm interviewing today. I've had the honor to see her mature and grow into who she is. Her strength, perseverance, and faith in God has brought out the best of her. And being a single mom in a foreign land is not easy, but she sure makes it look good. So with that, let's welcome Chipo Charlene Pagova, or as we call her at CTKL, Chipo.
Hello C3 family, this is Chipo. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to my home, uncut, unedited. Thank you so much, Pastor Sam, and thank you, Pastor Joe, for giving me this opportunity. I hope that this can inspire and this can encourage all the single moms out there. So stay tuned and thank you.
Well, it is actually an honor to have you in this session, Chipo. So, the first question I have for you today is, how are you juggling work and being a mom during this lockdown period?
How do I juggle being at work and being a mom? I think most of the time what I tell myself is that I have to just create a routine. So I try to put certain things to be done at a certain time so that I can be able to do everything in one day. So the hardest part about it all is that I sleep less because I work from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and during that time my son is also sleeping, and then when it's time for me to sleep, I need to wake up because he's up. So that's one challenge with regards to having to put it all together. But the joy in that is that I get to see him all the time. So I get to play with him during the day, and when he wakes up, I'm there. So it's a give and take. but I just have to do what I have to do. So that's just what I tell myself every day. And I think the other thing is just the grace of God, because honestly, doing everything by myself is not easy. But I'm still here, surviving. No eye bags. So
Yeah.
I think I'm doing a very good job.
Well, as far as I know, I think you're doing a fantastic job. I like that you said you schedule what you do in a routine. And I think that helps a lot, especially juggling work and Mason. For the benefit of our audience, Mason is Chipo's adorable son. And here he is on the screen with his mommy. Nice. Let's move on to question 2. So prior to the lockdown, I understand that it was difficult to manage your responsibilities due to your shift work. Have you received help, and how?
So before the lockdown, because I work at night, I cannot exactly take my son to any daycare, and also it's very expensive to kind of get like a nanny to be able to watch my son when I'm at work. So that's not something that I can manage or afford. But at least Mason's dad was able to help me, that I can go and drop him off for 4 days out of the week, and then I have him for 3 days. So of course it's very challenging because I don't get to spend every day with my son, which is something that I always want to do. And also just before the lockdown, I had tried to get my cousin to come, one of my cousin sisters to come over, but of course that had to be postponed because of the lockdown. And lucky enough, I get to work from home, so at least I'm here with my son, and I can still do what I need to do as well without having to worry about if he's okay or if he's eaten and all that stuff. So of course it's a challenge. I know I'm still living in my nice bubble and it will pop soon, but I'm hoping that by the time that happens, I'll be able to go back to my original plan and get my cousin sister to come over, and then she can be able to help me at least when I go to work. She can be able to watch me, and then I think we should be okay after that. So
Yes, definitely when the MCO lockdown is lifted, your cousin will be able to come over, and I'm sure having some help would ease as well. With so many things going on, how have you managed to feed your spiritual life?
My spiritual life has definitely been impacted by this whole lockdown. Now I feel like I have more time, so I can read more of the word, and I can also listen to more of the messages, and listen to my worship songs. I feel like I have more time to do that now. But like I mentioned earlier, time management. So I have to slot in my me time at a specific time.
Yeah.
So I have to, I have one slot in the morning, which is just after
good.
my shift at 6 a.m. And then another slot again at 6 p.m. just before I nap for work, because I have to nap with Mace in order for me to survive another 9 hours. So it's been a journey, but I appreciate the fact that I could have this time, because it has really taught me a lot about priorities, what is important in life, and the things that we need to look into or change, and some of the things that we need to adjust in our life. So I felt like this little break wasn't just a break from the world, but it was more for us to be able to connect with God and be able to spend more time with Him. So for me, I feel like this was something that was very good, not only for my regular life, but also for my spiritual life, because at least I have more time for that. So yeah, I think that's a thumbs up for lockdown.
So true. The hassle and bustle of our daily life has got us all rushing through the day, and finding time to feed our spiritual life is definitely a challenge. But you're right, this lockdown has given us the flexibility and availability to meditate on the Word of God and get intimate with God. Chips, I understand that you lost your mom at a young age. Now that you're a mom yourself, how has that loss affected you positively and negatively?
Yes, I lost my mom when I was 5 years old. So I didn't get to know her as a person. I didn't get to know her personality, what she likes, what she doesn't like. So that has really affected me negatively, because I feel like a part of me is missing. Like in every day, I always ask God, and I'm like, something was just not right. Something is just not there. But positively, because of that, I grew up with a lot of mom figures around me. So I got to hear different tips and advice from different moms.
Wow.
So I guess that's something that I can appreciate, that God at least was able to surround me with mother figures and people that were there for me all through my growing up. So at least I didn't miss out on anything. But yeah, I guess sometimes in life you just have to make the best of the situation.
Yeah. As you were saying just now, you were surrounded by a lot of motherly figures. In regards to that, who have you looked up to as a role model mom, and why?
As much as it may have been hard losing my mom at a young age, I have role models. I do have some moms that I look up to, that are always there for me as well. And these are my aunts, my mom's sisters. I've got 4 of them. They're always there for me. Like, I don't even know. I can call them anytime and they're there. And they taught me everything I know about being a mom. They taught me how to be hardworking, taught me that you have to be strong. No matter what, you have to be strong. And especially for me, because I'm a single mom, so they just told me that you have to be stronger than all of us combined, because it's tougher for you. And also they taught me how to be selfless, and a lot of things that they have taught me. I could write a book about everything, but it's good to have people that I can look up to, and I'm glad that God was able to give me the chance to be able to be surrounded by all these moms that can add a little bit to my life every single day. So yeah, I just appreciate that, and I'm just thankful for them, for being in my life and for everything that they do. So yeah.
Fantastic. I think the great support you have from your aunties and other motherly figures really does speak volume on how you're handling motherhood. Thank you so much, Chips, for sharing your story with us. Before I let you go, I have one final question to ask. What is the best experience thus far in being a mom?
Okay, so the best experience about being a mom, about being a single mom more specifically, is the empowerment that comes with it. Knowing that I have to solely rely on myself, and Mace has to also 100% rely on myself. So that empowerment makes me feel like I can do it all. And also it just empowers me to work harder, empowers me to think smarter and to be wiser in all the decisions that I make. And also just the lessons that come with it in general. Like I mentioned before, the time management and being able to multitask. I wouldn't have learned all those things if I wasn't a mom. So just the opportunity of having to go through this experience is something that I'm very grateful for, and I'm looking forward to the journey that comes and whatever comes. It's only been 2 years with him, but it's gonna start speaking soon, so I can't wait for those times as well, and all the different moments that we're gonna share together, hopefully with a little less diapers. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Of course, if I could just give advice to everybody else, it's not gonna be easy. I mean, being a single mom is something that nobody wants to do, but sometimes you just have to do your best. You just have to trust God to get you through the experience and to help you to do what you can, because at the end of the day, He's our provider and He will provide.
Very well said, Chips. You've inspired me so much, and I'm sure your story today has inspired so many moms and single moms especially. While there are ups and downs, and not every day is a walk in the park, every step we experience will be a memory we can one day look on to see how far we've come. Thanks, Chipo, for your time once again. I hope you've been blessed by this short interview. As Chipo has mentioned again and again, she is thankful that God is with her and that God has placed the right people around her in the different stages of her life. As the old African proverb goes, it takes a village to raise a child. Whatever may be our status, married, single parent, divorced, whatever it may be, we were not meant to go through life alone. We are built for community. Even during this lockdown season, where we may be separated physically, we still have technology to keep us connected. And I encourage you today to take an extra step to stay connected to somebody. Here at C3 Kuala Lumpur and C3 Klang, we firmly believe in connection and community. And if you're looking for a community to connect to, get in touch with us. You might just find where you belong. Happy Mother's Day in advance, and stay tuned to our social media channels for details on our upcoming sessions. Thank you and good night.